I'm Sarah Borkson-Keeter with NAREITsREIT.com, and I'm here in Las Vegas at REITWorld 2015, NAREIT's annual convention for all things REIT. I'm here with Mike Barnello, President and CEO of LaSalle Properties. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Sarah.
So LaSalle focuses on upscale hotel properties. How would you describe trends as we head into 2016?
That is right, Sarah. LaSalle has been focused on upscale luxury properties in the hotel space for a long time. And when we look at the trends that we've been experiencing, the major trends are always supply and demand. Those trends have been favorable for us and for the industry for the last 5+ years as we've enjoyed a pretty healthy industry recovery. As we look into 2016, generally the trends are still pretty positive in terms of the supply growth, which will be below the long-term historical supply growth. The demand is always a question mark, but what we're concerned about is that we have seen increasing supply year over year since the recovery started, and demand, while still positive when you look at it from a long-term historical basis, has been decelerating for the past 4 quarters. So from a fundamental perspective, we still feel good about 2016, but we're just concerned that it might not be as strong as 2015.
And do you expect to be active on the acquisition front in 2016?
When we look out for next year, I think we have to compare that to 2015. And when you look at what happened in 2015, for the first half of the year, people were very bullish on transactions, and a lot of hotel transactions took place, again, for the first 6 months of the year. The REITs were heavily involved in a lot of those transactions, including LaSalle. What happened in the second half of the year is you've seen a marked slowdown in the number of transactions that have occurred. And the reason for that is quite simply the REIT's cost of capital has increased as the stock prices have gone down most recently. When you think about what happens in 2016, I think that from a seller perspective, a lot of sellers are still feeling very comfortable with the values that they would have liked in the early part of 2015, because from their perspective, the assets are still strong, and if anything, their EBITDAs are likely to have increased in 15 and maybe into 2016, so they're not going to be willing to take a lower price just because the REIT's cost of capital has come down. So I think there'll be a disconnect in pricing between what hotel REITs can offer and what sellers will look for. So I think it will be a slowdown in REIT transactions in 2016.
And are services like Airbnb having an impact on your sector, and do you see this as a lasting impact?
Absolutely. I mean, Airbnb and companies like that have been around for a while, but in 2015, what you've really seen is a step up in their impact, and it's because there's been more of an acceptance of what Airbnb is for a lot of travelers, as well as a lot more listings in a lot of the core cities. When you think about lasting, we're of the perspective that there will be Airbnb and companies like this in the future. The question in our minds is, how it will stabilize, and by that I mean, we're concerned as an industry that groups like Airbnb should be operating on a level playing field along with the hotel industry, meaning there should be the same health and safety requirements. There should be proper taxation, licensing, permitting, etc. And to the extent that those things are enforced, then I think we'll find a way to coexist. But I absolutely think that that's going to continue for the long term, because obviously there's a big segment of the population that enjoys using what they offer.
All right, well, great. Thanks very much, Mike.
Thanks, Sarah.
And for more news and information on REITWorld 2015, be sure to visit REIT.com.